Hi, my name is Ken Turley. This is James Thurgood. We're with Easy Storage. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about automating your storage facility. So feel free as we go through this. We do want as much participation as we can possibly have. We want to answer some questions if they're specific to your facility or just more broad. Either way, we want to be here to provide as much information as we can. So feel free to share your audio and video if you want to pop in and ask direct questions, or you can always chat and we can see those and just type in your questions there as well. We'll start off just kind of talking generally about the benefits of automation and whether or not automating your facility is something that you should be doing. My biggest, I guess the biggest thing that I've seen in this industry is that people are kind of scared of that word. Automating your storage facility or automation kind of makes it feel like they're losing control, or that they may feel like that they're getting more distant from their facility. But in reality, that's not the case. If anything, automation allows you to be more tied into what's going on, utilizing technology, increasing your efficiency so that you're not wasting time on other tasks that aren't nearly as important. So one of the things that people find with automation is that they think, well, if I automate this, it's going to cost a ton of money to add these tools. It's going to cost a ton of money to add these different services and things like that. That's one thing that, again, is a complete falsehood. There's so many services and so many tools in this industry that you can get that enhance what you can offer for your tenants, enhances your efficiency, and at the end of the day, makes you more money. So what we're going to do, and James is going to take over here and talk a little bit about a few more of the actual services and tools that you can implement in your business to help automate it, become more efficient, and then also be more effective. And then we'll circle back after that and ask some more questions.
Yeah, for sure. So like Ken said, it's been interesting over the last couple of years to talk to owners and see how they start to see the benefit of automating. For a long time, it was they want to be super involved and do everything on paper or just on their own computer, that type of thing. And, you can still be involved, but make your life easier. So, what services, I'll just mention a few. Obviously there's a lot out there, but I think that it all starts with the management software. Being able to house your tenants' information, being able to house your inventory, what's available, how much does it cost? And then having that automated or integrated, with your website. I think that's where it all starts. So people can go on your website, rent that way. Now with the website, one of the services is, search engine optimization and marketing service. With those efforts together, you want to be able to, with SEO, you want your website to rank higher. So if people are on the internet searching for storage in your area, you want to be able to pop up. And then you want a good website that integrates with your software so that when they find your website, because you're ranking higher, they can rent right there. Another service would be tenant protection, that like we've talked about, tenant protection programs. You can set it up so that your software can automatically do it. So if people are renting online, they can sign up automatically. The agreement gets sent to them to sign. They're automatically protected. It protects your tenants, it protects you, and makes you a little bit of money as well. And another service would be a call answering service. It depends on how you're answering your calls right now, but a lot of owners are finding that they don't have to be the ones to take all the calls themselves. They don't have to spend all that time themselves answering all the phone calls. And you can hire a call answering service for cheaper than an employee. You don't have to have an employee if you don't want to. If you want to have a manager, great, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But call answering service can also help as well. Other things just that we can mention: gate access control. If it's hooked to the cloud, again, if it integrates with with your software, you can help update gate codes wherever you are, and it'll update your gate right away. And then things like accounting services, legal agreements. Those are probably the main services.
Yeah.
Obviously there's more out there, but that's a good place to start, I think.
Yeah, for sure. And just for those that are still joining in, feel free to throw in some questions. Also, feel free to join with your video if you want to ask direct questions to us. Both of us handle different parts of this. I handle all the marketing and SEO services at our company. James is over the call service and stuff, but we've also been integral in all the other operations. So we do have a lot of information, a lot of knowledge that we can hopefully pass on and help out. One of the things I think automation does, like I talked about in the beginning, for those that haven't quite joined in, is it does scare people. The word automate your facility. I think people think that just means let's just turn on an autopilot and never touch it, never be involved. And that is the furthest thing from the truth. Like, you need to be involved in your business. You need to be connected to what's going into it. And so, like James mentioned, there's specific tools that you can get in place. He mentioned that the software, our management software, and any management software really that you're using is like the core of your business. If you don't have a management software that is web-based, that can integrate with your gate access control, that can integrate seamlessly with your website, if those core things aren't being done, you're not making a seamless experience for your customers. You're not making a seamless experience for yourself. And you'd be surprised. It may sound like a simple thing, but we hear all the time people calling in and they say, well, I'm still using pen and paper. I have this spreadsheet that has all my tenants and stuff. And as crazy as that sounds, it is still so common in this industry. So start there, get that stuff in place, get your software, get your website piece. One thing about SEO and online marketing that I think is very misunderstood is that it's just this magic thing that no one really knows about, that it's just, you've got to just do it, and it takes this long, drawn out process, and eventually you're going to get rentals. And it's kind of like a misunderstood thing, and everybody has bad experiences with marketing companies promising them things. And so one thing we try to do here with our SEO services, and I kind of want to just talk about how that actually helps automate your facility, is a good quality SEO service focuses on local SEO. So your business page, your Yelp listing, all those things are being found really easily, but you're also ranking organically so that people can find you. Now, it is true, SEO does take time. You're not going to just immediately be ranking #1, but you're still going to have progress. You're still going to be able to find ways to generate more traffic, which turns into more rentals, makes it easier for tenants to find you if they're already currently there so that they can pay their bill, all those types of things. And it's a really misunderstood thing. A lot of people just think they don't need it. Oh, it's just extra cost. They don't need it. It will literally make it to where you have more online rentals. That means less people that you have to actually manage and take payments manually or go meet at the facility. Like, the more people can see your units online and just rent, then that's a much easier experience for you. So that's actually a pretty big part of automating your facility, is having that marketing presence.
For sure.
Looks like we do have a question. We'll just hop in and take this. This is from Greg Michael. He says, we have a facility with an electronic gate and a kiosk. If we discontinue the kiosk and switch to you for the call center, management software, and gate access, how seamless will this be? So good question. We like to, obviously the easy answer for us is we'll make it really seamless, right? But in reality, that is the whole goal of us, is to simplify the storage process. Our whole company, that's the whole idea. So if you already have a gate, our team will make sure to walk through what type of gate that is, see if it integrates with our software. We do have our own gate access as well. So if you do end up using ours, that will obviously be really seamless. The call answering service, I'll let James talk about that, but I will say the people that utilize the call answering service, and when they also have the other tools in place that we offer, it makes it so seamless for them. It is super simple, super easy. And it makes it to where you're dealing with less headache, but also saving money and making more on the other end. So it's a win-win all the way around.
Yeah, for sure. And I like that you mentioned about the kiosk. So first thing is, you don't have to discontinue the kiosk if you don't want to. So we have a lot of facilities that utilize a kiosk as well as our call service, because some people just aren't comfortable with the kiosk, or maybe they're trying to use it and they have questions, they'll give us a call. If you want to discontinue the kiosk, that's fine. That's your decision as well. We have owners that do that also. So we work with both. But either way, whether you have a kiosk or you don't have a kiosk, a lot of people just want to talk to people. They don't want to do it on,
it's true,
on the kiosk or whatever. They have questions, or, the kiosk can be great. It's just can't quite run your entire facility super efficiently. So like Ken said, it's a really easy, seamless process, quick setup. and we can use the tools you already have if you want, and just kind of make it even easier for you.
Yeah, one of the cool things to kind of add on to that to answer your question is the overall theme that we're talking about, automating your facility and stuff. Those are the key services, some of the key services that really do that. But the good thing to know about that and everything that Easy Storage is doing is that those services can be customized. Like, you don't have to use every single one. You don't have to, if you have certain tools you really like, whether it's a kiosk or your current gate access, whatever that is, like, we can be as customizable with our products and our services to fit in with how you want to automate your facility. If you just kind of want to still be pretty heavily involved, if you still have a manager, there's still ways to use the call service with your manager to supplement their efforts and make them more efficient as well. So that's something to just talk through with us. And if you want to, we're going to put a link in here that you can actually go to schedule like a private breakout session with us to talk a little bit more in depth about that. And we'll reach out to you and give you some more details on that. But we do have another question here. This is from Richard. He says, we're purchasing a facility that is a mom and pop with absolutely no tech. Everything's on paper. How can you help transitioning all that info to ESS? So that's a great question. Not to sound overly corny or salesy, but that's like what we do for this market. Like, we are built for small to medium sized operations. We are built for companies looking to integrate technology and make their facility more effective. And it's not as crazy as it sounds. It's fairly simple for us. So one of the key things that's going to happen is when you get when you decide that if you wanted to go with our software or whatever, one of the things that we'll do is we'll try to get as much data from you as possible. And our team will actually help walk you through the setup of the software. It's not as daunting as a task as you think it is. It's really not. We set up your unit types and get your units and stuff added, which doesn't take that long. Then it's bringing over your current tenants and you're getting your payment, your merchant accounts and stuff set up. It's really not that big of a process. We have some facilities that will come in and within 2 days, they have no tech, and within 2 days, their software and website is up and running. Everything's good to go. So that's very simple answer, I guess. I mean, it can, depending on how your facility that you're buying or how it's like working, that can change. But in reality, it's as simple as getting the information to us, and we'll walk you through installing it, getting it trained, everything, so that all the stuff is installed correctly as far as the data you're bringing over. But because our software and everything is web-based, you'll be able to access it from anywhere, any type of device, all that. So it makes it really easy.
Yeah, and we've seen facilities bring or join us, come on, and like you said, pen and paper. They literally just have tons of scratch paper, cursive, things that only they understand, or maybe they just purchased the facility and the previous owner did it that way, and only they understand it. But walking through it, we can help them. And it's a mess. It's all on paper, hard to read, and we see that all the time. So it's no problem.
Yeah, don't be overly daunted by like that task. It seems like a mountain sometimes, but in reality, when it comes to automating your facility, it's fairly quick and easy. Get these tools set up, and then it's pretty seamless, even if you have no tech there at all. So we have another question. This is from Greg again with a follow-up. He's talking about the Wi-Fi. So he says, what about the need to have Wi-Fi at the location for gate access, et cetera? If we switch everything to you, how close does the gate need to be to that? So short answer would be not that close. It doesn't have to be like right by the plate, right by your actual gate. Again, that's something that our gate access specialists will probably like walk through with you and decide, okay, what do you have? They're actually really hands-on when it comes to integrating that and making sure that it gets installed correctly and stuff for you. They'll literally walk you through everything. So that's really nice, but it doesn't need to be, directly tied, like right next to it. You're not having to bury a ton of wires and stuff to get it hardwired. It's very seamless and very easy. Another question here, another follow-up. Do you have a telephone app for customers to access facility and rent online? So this is the beauty of technology right here. So
good question.
A lot of people ask, well, do you have an app? Can I go and download an app for your facility? So a lot of like companies and vendors in this industry kind of tried that a few years ago. And we always maintained that a proper website and a proper software and stuff really is an app in itself, because you have your phone with you. You can log on right away and make any type of payments that they want, or they want to rent a unit, anything like that is just right there on their phone. We also offer some cool stuff to make it hands-on. We have like an IVR system where, let's say you do have a current tenant and they're late on a payment and they want to get it paid up, but it's after hours or something. They can still call if they don't want to use the software or hop on their phone or do it. They can still call in and use the automated payment system and just go through and punch in the numbers and follow the step-by-step instructions, which is also tied to the call service. And it's a great tool.
Yeah. So like Ken said, a great example is if it's after hours, they're trying to get into the gate. If they're locked out and your gate access system is integrated with your software, they can call in. Doesn't matter what time of day. They don't have to talk to anybody, but they can call on the phone, make the payment.
Yeah.
The system will update. Your gate will update. They can punch in their code and access their unit. So again, being integrated like that, being automated is super beneficial.
Yeah, and here's kind of another example of not necessarily needing an app is we had, and we have this experience a lot, but I actually had a client call me the other day and he was just like raving about what we were doing and stuff. And he had just said that he had a unit, or had a tenant, who was locked out. He'd been way past his due date and everything. He'd got a late notice. He'd been completely locked out of the unit and it was getting close to auction. So he was the tenant was just gonna go in to the facility and get his stuff out. Even though he wasn't paid up. So he goes in, they use our gate access control. So he goes in and he clicks, he gets on the keypad and he punches in his gate code and it won't work because the software has already locked him out. So it's automatic. It will not let him in. And so he then knows, okay, he hops on his phone, goes to the website, pays his bill, types in his code, it works. Yeah. So then he gets into his unit. He's paid up in full, paid everything. He's paid in, he goes in there and he can get his stuff out now and it's not sent to auction. So kind of an example there of not really needing the app because the website is mobile friendly. The software is mobile friendly. Everything will work on any device you have.
Yeah, and along those lines, something that I wanted to mention is, you don't ever want to discourage someone from paying you money. So they need to be able to pay you somehow, even if it's the middle of the night. So whether that's on their phone, on the mobile friendly website, on their computer, via the IVR system, calling on the phone. So you want to have a lot of different avenues and you want people to be able to pay you all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's one more thing too with the app you mentioned in the question, Richard's question about whether or not you should have an app for customers to access the software or even like rent online and stuff. And one thing that we found in search behavior and like people's consumer behavior, when they're looking for a unit, I'm not going to like go to the app store and then find a facility and download an app. Same thing, even if I know of a facility, most likely even if I know the facility I want to go to, I'm most likely going to still just Google them really quick, either go to their website or click their phone number to call them. So again, this is why marketing and SEO and local SEO, all that stuff is beneficial for the automation of your facility because it allows your facility to be accessible no matter how they're going to find you. They're going to be able to find you if they're just searching for general, I need a storage unit. If they go on and Google that, storage unit near me, whatever the keywords that they search, or if they know of a facility, they're still going to need to try to find that phone number. They're still going to need to maybe go to the website and a lot of people prefer that, especially as society kind of is changing, especially with COVID that's been happening. Obviously, we're doing a virtual conference now. We kind of need to adapt. These tools help your facility to where you can adapt. We've talked with a lot of the facility owners during this time, and they haven't had like a dip in occupancy. They haven't had dips in revenue coming in because their facility is using these tools to stay automated, specifically the call answering service, the IVR. They're making sure that their marketing's in place. The access control is a huge piece for automation as well. Yeah. So hopefully that answers your question. I don't want to beat it like a dead horse or anything, but this is definitely a good question and it's something that I think is very common in this industry. So hopefully we gave you some information that helped with that.
Yeah, definitely.
One other thing that while we're waiting for other questions, please feel free if other people are joining in. I see the numbers kind of going up. Feel free to just throw in some questions. I'll kind of reiterate a few points that we talked about in the beginning, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the call answering service and how that can really be implemented. It's something that is kind of new in the industry. There's some people that do it. We've been doing it for a long time, but I think as people understand what this can really do for you, it excites people because, like we said, not only could you not have a manager on site at all and use the call answering service almost as like a remote manager. You could also still supplement your current manager and make it to where they can spend their time on other things, maybe work part-time, however you want to, divvy that up. But overall, just to kind of circle back to what we've been discussing is, and for those that are new to hear this, is automation is not autopilot, right? Like, we are not thinking that you're just going to hand over control, you're just going to walk away and then just collect the check every month. That's not the idea. We can automate it and customize it with a lot of tools to where it almost feels that way. That's definitely what some people do, but you can be as controlled and as customized as you want it to be. And so pick the tools that are out there that allow you to do that, whether that's, like we've talked about, there's the management software, there's marketing, there's SEO, there's your access control, there's TPP, which is a simple way for your tenants to feel protected, for you to feel protected, gain more revenue. Again, and that can all be integrated into software, so it's seamless in the rental process. All of that is just super important. We could list off tool after tool after tool. So feel free, if you guys want to schedule another breakout, a private breakout, to talk more in depth about your specific facility, that's great. But also feel free to throw in some more questions. We'd love to hear from you. So James, why don't we talk a little bit about the call answering service and really the nitty gritty of why that can help them be automated and a little bit more seamless for them.
No, for sure. So kind of like Ken mentioned, and I alluded to it earlier, with the call answering service, it's kind of new in the industry. Now, that doesn't mean that people haven't been hiring companies to answer their calls.
Yeah.
But, when you hear call answering service or call center, kind of has a bad connotation. And understandably,
you immediately think like foreign, out of the country, having difficulties with customer
calling
service.
you, selling you something, cold calls.
Right.
So, hopefully this will teach you that a call answering service doesn't have to be like that. Doesn't have to be a typical call center.
Yeah.
And so, essentially, a good answering service should be flexible with how you want to run the facility. So, not there to take your place or take your manager's place if you have one, or they're just there to help out. So, it can be anything from the answering service taking all of your phone calls, just taking that completely off your back, answering all the calls, really handling most of the day-to-day tasks so that you as the owner can focus on other aspects of your business. But, they can also act as a backup. So if you like answering some of the phone calls, or if you have a manager or you have a sales guy that you want handling the sales calls, a good answering service should be flexible to be able to set it up so that the answering service is just taking the calls that you want them to take. And then from there, they're answering more hours than a typical employee would work. So that's going to be beneficial for you.
Yeah.
And it's going to cost less than hiring another manager or hiring a manager in the first place if you don't have one already.
You'll be surprised how much money it can save you. I'll just say that. It's a good amount.
So if you think about it, it's economies of scale, right? We're able to handle a lot of phone calls for not very much money for you. Whereas, if you were to hire one person, it's going to cost quite a bit more than an answering service would be. And they're not going to be able to answer quite as many phone calls. The answering service, using these other tools that we've talked about, integrate, they should be using your software. Things will be updating as they're taking phone calls, as they're moving people in and out.
Yeah.
It all updates automatically. Your website's always up to date.
That's perfect. That sums it up. I think it's funny because we start talking about all these things and it's funny because it almost makes me excited to be like investing more in the industry, because there's just so many like things to make it easier, to make more money, and to just streamline it. And that's one thing that I think in a lot of past trade shows that I've spoken at and that I've went and done booths and different round tables and things like that, a lot of the conversation is always around like making it automated, making it easier. And I think one thing that people forget, and one that I want to bring up right now, is it's not just automating your facility as much as is automating the experience for your customer. There's so many people that rent storage units in different ways. They prioritize certain things. Some people are very price conscious. Some people are very feature conscious, where they want to know that that the place is protected. They want to make sure that their stuff is taken care of. They love, to have the TPP add-on so that they can make sure their stuff's connected. Some people love online rentals. Some people want phone calls. And so your position to really automate that experience for the customer as a facility operator and owner, your position is now how do I be well balanced enough that I can take care of all these needs? How can I serve these tenants and provide them the things that they want, the things that they value, without breaking the bank, and also without making it difficult on myself? Yeah. That is technology. Embrace technology, embrace these tools. I think with that, sometimes people get scared because it is change. We talk with people all the time who are still running on pen and paper, or they're still, they have this old gate system that, like, they have one guy that literally has a crank that he has to go out there and do it for every single person that comes in. And it's just like maybe it's time to take that leap. Maybe it's time to do that. I'm telling you, it is. It will make it easier for you. You will make more money. And in a way, more importantly, your customers will have a better experience. That's more return customers. They're going to rent from you longer. They're going to refer people to you for new customers. They're going to leave you better reviews on Google. Like, it touches every part of your business. So even though we may not think, marketing is the number one, let's just say for example, I just say marketing is the only thing that's important. I just need to get new tenants in all the time. Well, obviously, if they have a bad experience, or the gate access control doesn't work, or the management software is clunky and it's not web-based, so it's not updating properly, or maybe my website showing a unit that's not available, and so then now there's headache and there's customer service problems. All that stuff is affecting your business and your bottom line. So you need to not just put certain things at extremely high priorities. You can't just come in and say, well, I don't care about marketing at all, or I care about only marketing. Like, there has to be a balance. And that's one thing I would say with automation, and with what this whole discussions about where this industry is taking it, whether you're working with us, whether you're working with Storable or Sparefoot, or I think there's Yardi, there's all these companies out there, StoragePug, all these companies that can help you integrate technology into your business. The whole goal for that should be to improve your business so that it's less work on your end, there's more money, and that your customers have a better experience. And that's what these services really do.
Yeah, and you Ken said this, but automating doesn't have to mean taking away the personal touch.
Right.
It can be like, there are people who just want to use the website and don't want to talk to anyone and just want to move in and never see anybody, and that's fine. And you should be able to be set up for those people as well. Mm-hmm. But there are still a lot of people who want to talk to somebody, and so you should be able to set that up also. And I think one of the concerns that I get from owners is people say, well, if I'm not there on site all day, people want to talk to someone local. And there's some truth to that, but it's really not worth your time to sit there all day long. Yeah, at what cost, yeah. Right? With a good answering service, they're going to be answering with your facility name, so people know they reached the right place. They're going to have all your information, know where you're located, have all the specifics. So It's not like some just random company answering, taking down messages. Even though the answering service won't be local to your facility, they still have all the same information.
Yeah.
And we've seen there's not a downtick in occupancy or sales or anything like that. It's only goes up. So.
In a lot of ways, it's easier for them. In almost every single time, it's easier for them because they know someone's going to answer the phone.
Yeah,
they're not having to rely on, what if I have to run out of the office for something, or I have an errand run. Like, they're knowing that the phone's going to get answered. And there's so many times we've been saying this statistic for like 5 years now, where we've said, well, 4 out of every 10 phone calls to a facility are missed. So I mean, they're just missing potential rentals. You're missing tenants that have problems. So now they're more angry. They're leaving you bad reviews. Like, it affects so many parts of your business. Yeah. So utilize these tools to fix those, to alleviate those concerns that are going to continue to come up, and then trickle down to every other part of your business that will hurt you. Yeah. So again, don't be like overwhelmed by the opportunity that you have to install and get these types of things into your business, your day to day. One thing, I know we don't have a ton of time, so please, if you still have questions, throw them in there real quick. I'm more than happy to answer them, and James and I can also connect with you in our personal breakouts if you want. We also have a virtual booth that is going to be right after this, so please join the booth, come talk to us. It really gives us a good chance to sit down and talk with you face to face. We will have some of our other salesmen come in on this too, and they'll be able to handle a lot more specific questions, whether it's pricing or whether it's how to implement certain services and stuff. One thing I will say before we wrap up, though, that I feel like we should mention, when we've talked about automation and talked about better experience for your customers, one thing that often gets ignored is what is on your website. I'm the marketing guy, so I always end up talking about this. So sorry if it feels like a soapbox, but your website, a lot of times people just stop there and say, so I need to have a website. It needs to be mobile friendly. It needs to rank well or something. But they don't really pay attention to what happens when people land on that website. Just as much as you're automating your facility with tools and technology and things like that, you need to be automating your website's content so that when they land on your website, they are funneled to the key information that they need, that they care about in a quick and simple way. So many times, I cannot tell you how often this happens. If you learn anything from this session, this would be a great one to take away from, is make sure that when they land on your website, that very easily and very simply, that they can see what available units you have, what the key features of your facility are. Don't make it difficult. Don't make them feel like you're on their homepage talking about Facebook and talking about all your other things that you're doing or posting all this other things. Like, those things are good, those are fine, but they shouldn't be the core focus of your website. And so again, just how we talked about how things trickle and they affect every little piece of your business, your website is a big part of that. That is the way you put your foot forward. And so having a good website that is mobile friendly, that does rank well online, is important. But if once they get there, that you're not converting them and you're not giving them the information that helps them make an easy decision to rent from you, you're only doing yourself a disservice. And that part trickles down to your bottom line almost more than any.
Yeah, it's like the front lines.
Yeah. So hopefully the information has been useful. Hopefully we've given some education on some of these tools, some of these services. I appreciate everyone that's commented, that's thrown in questions. It's been helpful. So come and join us. We'll talk a little bit more. If you have, we put in a link there for you to have a personal breakout with us and just talk about it, or come join the booth that's right after this. We can answer very specific questions about your facility, no matter what size, no matter what things you're doing currently. We can help you kind of get a better picture of what we offer, but also just how to succeed in this industry and how to simplify your storage process. Okay, thanks.
Thanks, guys.